Hey Vale Mountain, welcome to Logger Sports 2012. Michael Austin here in the studio with Brendan Taylor, competitor and color commentator. Here's Brendan looking at the more feminine side of himself. Brendan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me here, Mike.
Great. No, there's me schmoozing with the great Root Bear, and we are here to bring you the best of Logger Sports 2012. So here you guys are warming up.
You betcha.
This is really strenuous. I'm sure that you did some more warming up before this, but any tips or suggestions for those of us who are doing our own bucking or falling and need to do some warm-up?
Just keep your saws cutting sharp, and if things aren't running right, take them to the shop or take them to the tailgate and have a look at them.
Okay.
And don't be out there with crappy equipment.
Great. Okay, so really democratic process here, right?
Absolutely.
You draw numbers, make it fair.
Yeah, you betcha.
I don't know how fair is this. We're going into our first event here, bucking. But I mean, if you're the last guy bucking and you have the dull saw, I mean, that's got to make a big difference here.
Yeah, absolutely. We do a pretty good job of trying to wire brush the log clean, as you can see, and we also try to do it, do the best we can to make sure that no one's cutting through a big hard knot or some sort of defect in the wood. So traditionally, guys do bring their own saws and sharpen them to the way that they sharpen things.
Okay, so here we're going into our first competitors here. Not moving real fast. Who's this?
This I believe is Dan Lawless.
Okay.
And he comes out for a few events every year. It's really good to have him out.
So how's his technique?
Not too bad. He's not doing too bad. He could probably dog it in a little harder and get his body a little bit lower.
Dog unit.
Yeah, the big steel unit right at the end of the bar where the bar meets the power head of the power saw.
Oh, those pointy things.
The pointy things.
The pointy things are the dog.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all about prying and pulling and pushing and pivoting with the power saw.
Hey, so can you pry and push too hard?
You can pry and push too hard. You can pry and push to the point where the chain will stop, and then you're definitely at a disadvantage to your competitor.
Now here's a guy who's moving a little
Yeah, here's our
we're having a look at both of us. We have Dono's on the left.
Donovan G on the left, and a gentleman from Jasper, Ross Dirksen, who has a brother living in town.
Okay. Hey, so we're gonna have a look at Dono's technique here. How's he doing?
Dono does really well with that 2171. It's a few cc's of an engine smaller than the traditional saws that everybody else is using. And the first one of the years I came out to compete, I looked at a saw and kind of gave a chuckle and said, "Yeah, you're going to compete."
Hey, so he's really dipped that down.
Yeah, he's really dipped it down. He has a nice thin bit of wood to cut. He finishes up with using the whole bar, and with a smaller saw, he does really well in that event.
Yeehaw, Dono.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're continuing on here. Who's this?
This is Jake Dirksen, and I don't know who the other fellow quite is yet.
Okay.
But Jake, he's familiar with the power saw, and he did fairly well there.
Ooh, now he's back cutting up.
Now he's back barring. It's now instead of the saw pulling, it's pushing away from you now. So it's a bit of a different ergonomic feature.
Do I want gravity to be working with me, though?
You want gravity to be working with you a bit, definitely to an advantage. Instead of pulling up, you can push down. So
okay, well, he did pretty well
he
there.
did really well there, yeah.
He took it to that guy on the other side, so.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we got
Here's
pair here.
Dan Cutterback and John McCurdy.
Okay.
And
so these guys have reputations as cutters?
they have reputation as cutters.
Okay.
John didn't do so well there. He got caught up in the kerf a little bit. Something might have wandered with the bar and the chain to make him.
So you want to make this cut as straight as you can. You don't want to be curving this baby left and right.
Yeah, you want your pressure on the saw will really dictate how it goes through the wood, and you can get into a lot of trouble like that.
Okay. So what about angles? So now he's staying pretty well parallel.
Yeah, you want to go into the grain, perpendicular with the grain as much as possible.
Okay. Okay. Oh, and there he finishes off.
Yeah, that wasn't fully necessary. But now here's old Dan Cutterback. I don't think anybody needs to tell him how or where he should do it.
Okay, so let's have a look at it.
Look at how he really pushes with the dogs, cuts up the whole log.
So he's really waving that to that saw back and
Yeah,
forth
he is
until he gets to the
absolutely.
bottom now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Dan fell a lot of his
So we got another big tipper here.
Yeah, big tip dipper.
Okay. I'm sure that's an official logging term, right?
Totally,
Tip
yeah.
dipper? Okay, and then he finishes off parallel. We've seen this technique before.
Yeah.
And he's just taking real thin slices there.
Yeah.
Okay, well. Okay, so we've got our results here. So first, Brendan and Dan. Second was John McCurdy, and third was Dan and Brendan. We should say that this was for 2 categories of saws, even though
Right,
kind
because
of
we
rolled
had
it together
we
into
had the
one.
bigger, the 60 over 85cc category.
So you didn't get to see all of the weights because they were kind of the same, just with
Yeah.
different sizes.
Yeah.
Okay, so obstacle bucking. You want to take us
Obstacle
through it? Here
bucking.
you
Well,
are.
this is,
We're- We're watching you. Here we are.
This is an event that has a lot of anticipation for the competitors because obviously, as you can see, you got to get out onto the tips of those little skinny logs and lob your slice off.
Okay, so now Donald, he takes you, but he loses it on the way back
he
down.
lost it.
Eh?
I got away with a little bit there. I didn't quite get the full slice. The
Yeah,
key,
they gave that to you?
they gave it to me.
Oh!
I'm not going to complain.
I wonder if they're watching this on the video going, damn, we missed that.
The big thing with that event is staying calm but still being efficient, getting on the log, making your cut, turning around, and getting back off without falling. Because obviously, as you can see, Donovan, he's going to be huffing and puffing by this point. He's very, very fast on that log.
And we might note that you're running with like 40 razor blades in your hand.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
So,
just a minute.
going through those tires, you want to kind of be a little bit careful. And
Yeah.
he finishes off.
A lot of times, the guy who just gets on that log and gets off again is much better than the guy who really goes at it hard. Eh?
So who we got here now? We got.
We got John McCurdy on log A, I believe,
And that's.
and we got Nolan Germain.
Nolan Germain.
Nolan Germain, yeah.
Okay, so
Both
they're head
very fit boys.
to head here.
Head to head, yeah. They're
Let's
looking.
see who's doing the job. So we've got John in official logging boots, and we've got Nolan in
Falling off.
falling off boots. Looks like he's just
Yeah.
wearing his Nikes there.
Yeah.
Hey, John, he's cool.
Yeah, this
He
sort
is
of thing
cool.
is bred into these
Into the McCurdy clan, is it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And there's
So
no
it's in the
denying that.
DNA, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's tricky when you're on those logs because you get this peripheral of your competitor next door, and then you think, oh, come on, fall off, and at the same time you're thinking, don't fall off.
Okay, so Nolan's, we're still there. We got it this time. You haven't really fallen off with that
He's got his slice.
saw going either, do you?
No, you don't.
No,
Sorry, Nolan. Oh, he's so close to doing it now. He's got to go all the way back up
interesting
that log
choice
again.
of logging clothing here in our dress shirt, Nolan. I
Yeah.
don't know if anybody else is wearing a dress shirt, but that's one of these new Kevlar line dress shirts, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So this is for the stylish logger.
Yeah.
And love those chaps. They're maybe a little short there, but
Yeah. And Nolan is off the log and clear and sailing.
and we want to do some fashion training with Nolan before he does this next year.
Yeah.
But he does the tires pretty well.
I'm sure Elka has a few boxes of clothes down in their
Excellent,
in their house that they could dress Nolan with a little bit.
Okay. So who we got?
So
now?
here is a gentleman from Jasper, Mr. Dirksen, Ross
Okay.
Dirksen, and I
Ross
think he's
Dirksen.
head to head with his brother Jake Dirksen,
Jake Dirksen. Now where's?
Which
Oh,
is
there he is.
just-
Okay.
getting on the log without
Okay.
too much of a panic.
So the Dirksen boys here are head to head.
And they might have had a late night the night before.
Oh, okay.
We're not too sure.
So that's part of the sport too, then.
We're not too sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, we want to be a little careful with that night before stuff because we do not want to be bouncing around here with double vision. Now, do we?
No, we don't.
Okay. So we're fired up here.
Maybe a bit of a loose conscience. Well,
Now, I don't know who the camera guy was here, but this is a bad angle. What's this? We want to see the guts. We don't want to see these guys from behind. We're gonna have to dox and pay whoever was running
okay,
this.
we're getting a good shot of how wobbly these logs really are.
And they are. I mean, you
For
can
these
you can
competitors.
see. I was surprised at how thin these logs were. I thought that they'd be a lot thicker.
Jake did well there. He took his time. He got up on that log and back off again in one try, and he just gracefully makes his way back over to the finish line for.
Yeah, and he's just taking it cool, making sure that he's not. And we've got some fan support in the back. Hi, we're actually recording right now, and we have visitors in the studio, so you better step in because as you're speaking, we're halfway through this. Anne, come on. We've got visitor Anne here, and she's in having a look
missed
at
a lot of our
sports
festive
here.
events due
So,
to
come on in and
disastrous
tell us what you think. Okay,
events.
so we missed a little bit there, but it's always nice to have.
So here comes Dan Cutterback and another gentleman from the crowd, which I'm not so sure his name is.
So,
But
and Dan's the veteran on the circuit.
Dan
right?
is the veteran. Him and Donovan both the veteran. But look at Dan.
Donovan, he looks like he's like 25 years
Yeah,
old.
he looks like he's 25, but
he's been around,
he
eh?
outperforms. He's been the all-time champ holder for many years, and hats off to him for that. But here
Okay.
comes Dan back through the tires like he knows how
Okay,
to,
yeah,
just
he
like
does.
he does every day. Touches the log.
He's a little stiff, but
And I believe he
makes
actually
it
got
through
first in
there.
that. I think he got first in that
Well,
event.
we'll find that out in just a second here. We'll be looking at what's going on here. So who have we got now?
This is a fellow that decided to participate just from the crowd. We don't know.
So he's not a logger officially?
As far as I know, I didn't get to that much small chat with him, but
Okay, well, he's wearing the official boots.
he's been wearing the official boots, and
But he's not
and
doing the official
he had an official
walk
fall.
on the log there.
Yeah.
Hey, so I mean, these look like gum boots. It doesn't look like it's going to be an advantage to be wearing gum boots while you're walking down this thin log. Wouldn't it be better in like bare feet or yoga shoes?
Yeah.
You know?
If you watch the girls, they all went in bare feet. Those are traditional kind of logging
Oh.
boots,
And we can see we don't have a lot of experience walking on logs.
no. See, what we did with this event this year was we gave it 4 tries, and then we shut her down because some guys were going about 6 or 7 tries
Okay,
in the years
it
prior.
looks like our buddy's done there.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so-
we all gave him a big round of applause for coming out and
Excellent.
partaking.
Very good. So we have the results coming up here for obstacle bucking. And here they are. First, Dan Cutterback. Second,
Brendan Taylor.
Brendan Taylor. And third, John
McCurdy.
McCurdy. So it looks like you guys are you guys are in the run here for sure.
Yeah.
And we're on to obstacle choker, which is very similar, but
Yes, very similar, but instead of a chainsaw that we're running up the log with, this time we are running up the logs with a choker.
okay, so choker. So there's a lot of people out there in their hotel rooms in Valemount, sitting there going, "What are you talking about? What is a choker?
What is
Take
a
us through
choker?
it. What is this
So
thing?
a
What's it
choker
do?
was used on the skidders or on the high lead system. Basically, it would hook the log, and you can see how I'm having some difficulties.
No, you don't do a lot of this these days.
And these days, here's Donovan finishing up. I'm still fiddling around on the end of the log, getting frustrated because
He smokes through there.
He does smoke through there very good. So there I am. A choker is used to haul the wood out of the bush. As you can see, there's a little knob that sets into another device, and you set your choker, turn around on the log, don't
And
fall
walk very
off, and walk back off again.
So what's the trick to setting the choker on the end of a log like this?
Getting very low and having a good whip. So you have a hand on each side of the log with a majority of cable in one hand, and you have to whip it underneath the log and catch it with the other hand, which is holding the bell, which sets the end of the choker together.
Okay.
So.
And here we have the stylish Nolan Germain.
Nolan Germain's in the obstacle event that we just watched. Nolan was on the other log, and John was on this log. So now they're head to head on opposite logs, which was funny because me and Donovan both went head to head on A and B logs first and whatnot. So that was pretty fun.
And Nolan's pretty smooth here. And
Nolan did a very good job there.
he's got great style going back down there.
Yeah, he does.
Looks like he's maybe been doing some ballet training on the side. Just
Quite
to
possibly.
prepare for this.
I hear some rumors the university was spent a little more time.
No, I'm a little surprised that Mr. McCurdy is back up there.
He's back up there. See, as you can see, you got to grab that thing.
And so you kinda have to do-
end of the choker.
It's almost
Oh,
wide.
here, John.
But he saves it.
He saves it.
He saves it. So we're going to the sitting technique.
Sitting technique.
I like this.
Yes,
I would think getting up and getting back down that log is going to require a back handspring.
absolutely.
Are McCurdy's capable of this?
Well, they're capable of great strength.
Oh.
and
He
and
looks like he's got it.
overcoming some difficulties. And
Yeah,
John,
it looks like he's got it.
you know,
All right, John.
the savior there is better than a first place. It was,
All right.
had a great move there. So.
John, and he's got this unique jumping style. We're going to see that again, I think, in one of the other events. But really impressive here. So next competitor's up. Oh, we got
There
the
goes
veteran.
Dan Cutterback.
And is he going alone here? By the looks of it, a little trouble in the tires.
Dan did maybe end up going alone on this event.
Okay. Well, let's see how experience.
Once again, no
takes
gloves, no
this.
necessary, no cork boots.
Okay, so he's just up there with his hush puppies,
This-
his steel-toed hush puppies.
I think they're Crocs.
Okay, Crocs.
Shower Crocs.
Crocs. Okay, good. He's smooth with
Good
that.
job, Dan.
He's
Yeah.
obviously done some choker work in his
He has
time.
obviously done some choker work.
Okay,
and,
not
some,
like these-
and some possible. Oh, I lost my word.
Okay, I gotta fill in here. Anyways, he finishes strongly with the tires there, and I think he was huffing and puffing a little bit there, but he had a good time, right? Had a really good time. And we're on to the ladies. Okay, and you recognize this lady on the near screen.
Here is my darling
Okay.
girlfriend of 10 years and 2
Okay.
children.
Jasmine,
Jasmine
and on the other
Gasser, and up
side.
against Donovan's lovely lady, Jennifer Dewey.
Okay, so we're gonna have,
And
and we are in barefoot on the right.
Barefoot on
and
the right. And
Shower Crocs on the left.
yeah, shower Crocs are they flip flops, Dan?
I don't know.
Mike, I mean.
That's okay. We're tired
There's
already.
Dan.
Right? Just from doing this. Okay, so have a look at. Are you working with Jasmine on this? What are you doing?
I was probably chirping at her from the crowd, most likely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you didn't do any
Yeah.
like pre-training?
Yeah. No, nah, not so much. I maybe gave her a rundown of how the choker works, but
Okay.
she did a good job of setting that choker and a good job of falling off. But
So you don't have a bunch of chokers hanging around at home when you're not towing the kids in the
no.
in the towy bikey
No.
thing with chokers or
Yeah.
anything? Okay.
Some people get up and jog in the morning. Jasmine gets up and sets chokers.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey, even I have chokers, right? I mean, I'm a city boy, but
Yeah.
I use chokers for all kinds of stuff. Like, I love old chokers. So if there's anybody out there with a bunch of old chokers in their backyard, give me a call because I'll come by and get them. I use them for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they're
Great stuff.
definitely handy.
Absolutely. Like the binder twine for the handyman, you know? And Jasmine's through those tires?
To the tires,
and she
touches
wins
the
that
A-log.
heat? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, now Jen had a little bit of trouble here, but and she went to that the McCurdy sit technique.
McCurdy sit technique
Seems to be
absolutely.
working.
Gets the
She-
bell, gets the end set in the bell,
All right.
flips it
And we're
around.
We should say that you have to be in front of the red line on the log there, right? To actually
That's right. Yeah.
set the choker.
Before you can partake
And
in
then
your
you've
task.
got to make it all the way back down. So, anyways, we're really busy here. We got folks calling. I don't know if it's your phone or my phone, but this is maybe a point where we'll just take a break for a second. Well, no, we'll take the call.
Yeah, well, we're good.
Oh, we're going. Okay,
Good.
so
Well,
now
this is a bit of. Oh, here's Julie Woolley
Julie Woolley's
Julie
in black.
Woolley.
Is that right?
in the green and white.
Okay.
And this
who's
is
the black?
my cousin Tanya Crystalbrink.
Your cousin. Okay.
Yeah, she lives in Fort St. James. Her mom and dad are Bill and Joan Crystalbrink.
Okay.
And she is actually a forester by
Whoa.
profession. She is a registered forester.
So she's used to walking down logs.
It appears that way. She does a lot of silviculture work, and she trops around in the bush quite a bit.
Now, does she work with chokers?
She probably does not work with chokers
We're
too
gonna
much.
find out.
And
Oh.
Julie probably has to choke out Jake once in a while.
Okay.
But she does not work with the physical chokers.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's have a look here.
Oh, and Julie's off
we
the log.
almost had it there. We got some good coaching going on here with the veteran,
Yeah.
Dan.
And probably some good peanut gallery comments in the back there.
Actually, we'll be listening to some of these actually between the gaps of the more important conversation, which is ours. Slightly different view here, just to keep you, the viewers, interested, right? We'll just put the girls sideways. Okay, so we're gonna look at, and they're head to head again after individual fall offs here.
Julie's
This
getting pretty
choker
close
one's
there.
tough.
Tanya's still having a hard
Okay,
time.
so she's got the choker there. Now we just have to make it back down the log,
Take your time.
which seems a lot more difficult actually than coming up the log, right?
Yeah, that turning around and
Yeah.
getting ready to head back down there.
Which seems to have it.
Yeah. And sometimes you can get excited even in that bottom section of the log, and you can get that thing
Right,
rocking.
here she goes. Oh, and she
Rocking pretty hard.
grabs those flip flops at the end.
Yeah.
Is there a bonus for that for picking up your shoes? Okay, and she is through and touching her log. We're back here with Tanya. Oh,
Tanya
Tanya's
doing very well.
in the meantime. Tanya got that choker on there. She's on the way back down. Come on, Tanya. We've got our fingers crossed for you.
Oh,
Oh!
she falls off again.
Okay, so now I think we're looking a little bit high speed work here on Tanya coming up that log.
But now at this point, she just has to come cross the red line. And she's done her task of setting the choker.
Okay, so the hard part's done.
The hard part's done. Now she just has to. But by this time, you're huffing and puffing
Right.
pretty substantially, so
she
it can still be a challenge.
crosses, and
There she
away
is.
goes.
You can make her back down, Tanny.
Come on, girl. Come on. Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah, here we go.
There she
Okay,
goes.
the jog's on. We're gonna have a good close-up look at the footwork. Well, almost look at the footwork, and she's through.
She's tagged.
Okay,
Good job.
so who's up next here? We've
We
got
have
Miwa
Miwa here way.
and Heather Funk.
Heather Funk.
From the village office. Now,
Absolutely.
who would have guessed?
Who would have thunk it?
Heather. Who would have funked that Heather would be doing?
Who
this?
would have thunk that Heather Funk would have done this?
Now, Miwa, I can see it. There's definitely some logger girl in Miwa.
Absolutely.
There has to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have a look at Miwa's technique here.
You can see Miwa looks like she gets right out on the end of that log, so she's
Okay.
even
And,
thickening the challenge for herself.
Yeah, Heather's.
It's too easy. She's got to get another couple feet out just to prove to herself.
Okay, now Heather's not quite over. Oh, I see. Now she's over the red line. Heather, we're looking carefully at your work now.
No.
Okay, so
But
hey,
Miwa's set and she's
Miwa
standing
gets
back
that.
up.
Okay.
Nice and calm.
Good. We're
She
gonna
may
have a
be
look
one
at
of the
that
only girls who
turnaround.
comes up and sets it and heads back down clean. So
All right.
I think Miwa ends up taking this event.
Okay.
Good job, Miwa.
That log is rocking and rolling on the way. Good running technique too.
Yeah,
See the
very
arm
good.
action there?
Yeah, nice long strides.
Ooh, now that part I do know. So, okay, so we're back to Heather, and Heather's, we should note, is not doing this every day.
Heather does not
Heather's
do
on the
this
word
every day.
processor, and
Yeah.
you know, she's working computers from behind a desk. So,
But hats off,
she's got it.
hats off to Heather for
absolutely.
for coming and partaking in these events.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she did really, really well.
You know, this is what we should be doing in Canada for our morning calisthenics. You know, the Chinese have Tai Chi. You know, we could have like logger obstacle course, which is what they used to do in the old days, right? You got up, got your firewood, hauled your water, and you know, kept the cabin warm for the day.
I'm sure it would go really well with your elderly neighbors running the power cells at
Absolutely.
6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, so that's it. We've got our results coming up now for men's obstacle choker. First, Donovan G. Second,
Dan cut it back.
and third,
Nolan
Nolan
Germain.
Germain. And on the ladies' side, it's coming up. Wait for it.
Wait for it.
It's coming up.
Whoop.
Is it not coming up?
Not coming up.
Where are the ladies? The ladies, I'm sure they're. I'm sure we put them there.
Here we are.
Jeez, finally. Good Lord. First, Miwa, I better say this more slowly. Miwa Hiroe.
Second place, Jasmine Gasser.
Hey, can you draw that out a little more?
Jasmine Gasser.
Excellent. And in third, Julie Woodley. Next event coming
job,
up.
ladies.
You know this one well. The pole climb.
I may be a touch familiar with the
You may be a
pole
touch familiar
climb.
with it. Is all of your gear. We've got the hydro climbing times.
Hydro
Ryan,
climbing
12.5.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, I got a little bit of concern with this one and you competing because you have this training device on your truck, which gives you the advantage of doing this every single day. Do you want to comment on this? This was not fair.
Yeah, we're just speaking of the Chinese calisthenics, and this is something. This is something I partake in on a regular basis.
This is
and-
Brendan's truck, man. And I, you know, like when I saw him, and we're just going to look at one of these because you're probably the go-to guy here.
I kind of I may have had a bit of a mistake there because I had my belt too tight into the pole, and to be quite honest, I don't really climb power poles too much. I'm a little more involved in climbing trees. So they are a little bit different than climbing trees. You need a little bit different of a spike on what we call the spur, and you also use a little bit different of a strap. But you know, it's really fun to put on the pole climb. Everybody loves to come out and watch it. It's one of the more exciting events. And I've got Jake Dirksen there, a friend of mine, doing the belay, so everybody is safe and attached and can go at it without fearing of falling off the pole and getting a bad sliver. Or
And actually, we do have footage, I think, of all the competitors. So this is John McCurdy.
John
coming up
McCurdy
here.
has never done this too much, as
okay.
you know. You guys will see. Some of the guys are a little shaky, but I take my hats off to all the guys who have never done this too much, who came out and did it, because it's a really fun event, and you never know, you might just win $30.
Oh, $30.
$30. You might win $5.
Yeah, and $30, what, that'll pay for a carabiner these days.
That'll pay for what a half a carabiner.
Half a
no, but
carabiner.
a decent locking carabiner.
Hey, so what's the trick to this event?
The trick to this event, as you can see, like his strap is at an angle in comparison to his body. He should be taking about 2 more steps until that strap is almost angled below your hips, and then you want to step in and take a few more
Oh,
steps.
so you kind of had one there.
Yeah.
He's sort of,
Yeah.
You want to use that body weight to come in and
Yeah.
whip that strap up.
It's an eerie feeling when you start walking and your strap hasn't been moving up the pole, and now your hips are higher than your strap is. You start to second guess your safety, but he did really well considering he's never done this too much, and you know, he's a big, strong boy. That helps out. That helps out a lot as well.
Okay, very good. So we should just note that, I mean, these kinds of skills are gone because of tree processors and
Absolutely.
all of that stuff. So nobody's
Yeah,
doing this
and
anymore.
the high lead logging had a lot more of this stuff when they needed to get up higher off of the earth to get the trees lifted up so they're not smashing into the ground.
Right. And now back to the veteran.
Now back to the veteran, not his favorite event.
Yeah, so as he mentioned earlier on, actually, we've got that along with the sensor bleed. Oops, I guess I shouldn't identify who's saying it. But he did really well here.
He did really well there, yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
cruising up that pole,
Yeah.
doing good work. So how's his strap to hip angle?
I think by that time we had that strap figured out. Because
Okay.
like I said, he's giving it a good hug.
Hangs that bell and holds on for
He
dear
makes
life.
sure that everyone can
And I
hear
think
that bell.
Dan's got a really interesting descent, if I do recall.
We might have let him go. We had a really funny instance with Dan a couple years ago. We were belaying him with another device, and I had my friend belay him,
There's our
And-
belay.
and Dan ended up picking my friend right up off the ground, and it was really quite funny.
And down he comes.
And down he goes,
Okey
and
dokey.
butterflies are no longer in his stomach, which he's probably been thinking about this event for about 10 months here. I'm not sure which one he hates worse, the dentist or that one, but
Okay, so we're on to Nolan Germain.
Nolan
So what-
Germain, first time on the pole.
First time. Okay,
First
so what do
time
you
on
see?
the pole. Looks like a puppy trying to maybe have some intimate time with the football,
Gotcha. Okay.
but he's doing really well. He's a fit, strong boy as well. So, he could. The only thing that would improve his technique is time on climbing up and down poles and trees.
Okey-dokey.
So, not too much to say with him except for encouragements and a thanks for entering the event. And,
Gotcha.
yeah.
And the part that this dress shirt, I love this. Right?
And the dress shirt.
It's not a dress shirt.
Oh, it is a dress shirt.
It is a dress
Yeah,
shirt.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, great choice, and I hope that this
Yeah.
changes logger fashion
I hope his mom
for
didn't
this
have.
event next year.
I think maybe Nolan's mom maybe had a bit of an anxiety attack when she saw what her son was doing, but I'm sure she was much better once he was back on the ground.
Also, he said, "Hey, I'm going down to the fairgrounds to have a beer," and here he is climbing poles in his.
So here's
fancy
Donovan.
shirt.
Gee, this is the best I've ever seen Dono climb the pole. He did really awesome there,
Okey-dokey.
and I actually thought on the ground because he
He
was the
is
last.
cruising, is he?
He was the last competitor.
Oh, and he slaps that puppy up there.
I thought that Donovan beat me.
Blasphemy.
Oh, jeez. But he did really well there.
Does he have a practice tree on his truck too?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's got one in his backyard that nobody knows about. But
Okay, so Dono's on the way
on
down.
the way down, yeah, unclipping the belt, we got him secured on the belay, and here he comes.
And he trusts that boy attached
does
to the
trust
back
that
of the
boy.
truck. And I do believe that we're finished here with the pole climb. So we're going to look at the results. Yes, here they are. First,
Brendan Taylor!
second, Dono G, and the vet.
Dan Cutterback.
And up next, we have the axe throw. What can you tell us about the axe throw?
The axe throw is a really nice break for competitors to stand around, have a bite to eat, and
was a bad
see
cut.
instead of seeing a bunch of muscle and testosterone, to see a little bit of skill and finesse with the axe throw here. We usually get a couple of competitors who will just come out strictly for the axe throw,
Okay.
like Joss Hughes and Joan. So this everyone loves to watch the axe throw.
And are there guys out in the backyard practicing this along with their horseshoes?
I am pretty damn sure there are.
Ah.
I'm pretty sure Dono brings his own axe for the axe throw.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
And is this a throwing axe, or is he using it to cut firewood?
Yeah, it's specifically a throwing axe. It's been milled, machine milled to be very balanced in weight. And that's something you'd order out of the States or out of a specific logging.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Dono has his axe. Nobody else touches it, and that's just fine.
And so traditionally, what was the purpose of the double edge?
To be honest, I can't really I'm not really too sure, but
Was that like in the morning you used one side, in the afternoon you used the other side when it
yeah, I
got dull, sort of?
guess possibly it could be. Yeah, it would be for. Yeah, it could very well be for that. I really don't know where the double edge came into, unless it's specifically for an axe throwing purpose. But
Okay, so
here-
we've got John with the one-arm delivery.
one arm delivery. Yeah, he's doing pretty good with that one arm.
Now I'd be a little worried about my hamstrings there on the backswing myself, but
Yeah.
John doesn't seem to be too concerned.
No, it doesn't seem to be too concerned.
He's wearing chaps. He's not wearing full Kevlar
No.
backside bucking pants.
No.
And he's a little low and to the left. I was watching him earlier. He was hitting the bullseye
Yeah.
consistently. So
Yeah.
here we go. Okay. Is this our last throw here?
Should
for
be our
John?
last throw here,
Okay,
and here's
so here
another.
we go.
You can see another competitor in the
Let's
back.
have a look. Oh, and he's got a great group, right? He just needs to move that up like a foot
Yeah,
up and to the
absolutely.
right. So, anyways, that's it for John.
That's it
And
for John.
Next
Yeah.
up,
Is
we've
Brendan
got
Taylor. and
Brendan
we-
Taylor.
Yes.
Whoa!
Oh, geez.
And
Oh.
he is on the money. This Brendan Taylor kid is hot today, is he?
A warm-up throw was definitely better than the remainder of my throws.
Oh, is that right?
You'll see here for yourself.
Okay.
I think I saw a hot dog behind there. Trying to hit that hot dog or something.
That was
Ooh.
ugly.
And the crowd booed.
That was ugly. I was going to position the camera back there because I thought it was safe. But Second thoughts. Okay, maybe I was in the best place, and now
Right.
we'll just wait around, kind of.
Right now, I'm filtering out the bad comments from the
Exactly.
crowd.
Right.
Yeah.
And the crowd.
And here's another throw. Oh, man, this time I hit the tire. Jesus, there must have been something in the tire.
That was like overreacting, right? First we're over
Yeah.
top the whole thing, and then we're on the tire. I'm wondering if Dono did he jack your axe or something?
I'm not sure.
Whoa, and
I
we're in the money
I
again.
ended up finally getting a few points.
Okay. Okay, so now we haven't seen
This is
Jim.
Indian Jim.
Indian Jim.
Indian Jim.
Jim
Hell of a guy.
LaRondale.
Jim LaRondale. From
LaRondale.
Jasper, but now living in Valmont.
Okay.
And there's his boss, Dan Cutterback, telling him if he doesn't make this,
Okay. Low and to the right.
does not have a job.
So what kind of background does Jim have?
I think he's kind of an industry-related background of pipelining, equipment operating.
Okay.
I don't know if he comes from so much of a logging background, but he is running a mechanized processor for Dan Cutterback now.
Okay, so he's sitting all day
Sitting all day, yeah.
thinking about people who used to use these skills.
That's right.
Okay.
And here's Jake Dirksen.
Okay, so Jake's up. Another one-handed.
Another one-handed tomahawk
Let's see how
throw.
he
And-
does.
Oh! He was
Jake.
aiming for the same thing that Brendan was aiming for.
Yeah, like a gentler editor probably would have jigged those a little bit.
Yeah.
But, we do want to bring some reality to reality
Yeah.
logging sports.
That's right.
Because this is real. We want it to be real, right?
It is, absolutely.
Especially when he releases this axe into the crowd on the backstage. Maybe that
Oh,
was
you must have
edited
cut
out.
that one out.
Oh, that was. I think that's the ugliest one we've seen so far.
Well,
That rebound out. there.
Yeah.
Holy smokes! Okay, we got one more. Is that right?
One more. Two more
more's up?
possibly. One might have
Okay.
been a
Here
practice
we
throw.
go. He's happy about that.
He's
one
having a
Let's
good
do it.
time, and that's what it's all about.
Okay.
Jake's always having a good time.
And
he sticks a few points
he
there.
gets her in there.
Yeah. No,
And
that is
we
his
have to
last
say
throw.
that Dan, he's a courageous guy to stand out there.
Yeah, he
Woo!
sure is.
Woo,
So
who we got?
Who do we have here?
I think we've seen this.
This is Jake's brother, Ross Dirksen.
Okay.
So Ross is sticking a few throws.
Now I have to tell you, this strikes me as a lot more interesting than throwing horseshoes. I mean, if you're going to be throwing stuff, you might as well be throwing axes.
I think the interesting part
Whoa!
about throwing horseshoes is the amount of beer you can consume.
I see. And what is it with axe throwing?
Yeah, it really brings you back to sort of the pioneer days of throwing it. The feeling of when that axe sticks into the wood nice and straight is such a satisfying feeling. As for horseshoes, if you get a ringer, everyone knows.
Okay. So here's another competitor.
This is
Let's
Joss
see it.
Hughes. Joss didn't have a great year this year. He's come out and taken. He can make bullseye after bullseye, but with a bit of competition, competitive pressure on, it got into the cracks and he didn't prevail like he normally does.
Okay. And he's choked up.
Usually he comes out and wins this competition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he does a bit of practicing, I suspect, at home.
Okay. He's looking a little stiff. I would
So
expect him to be a little more fluid here.
Yeah, he's sitting with a few points, but
Okay.
well, maybe he's not doing too bad.
And if it was me, I don't know if I'd have that other arm out in front while I was throwing. So looks like he is comfortable having that. How much is this axe going to weigh? Ooh, was that
I'm
what I
not
thought it
sure.
was?
What the weight of that? Usually a falling axe is a 3-pound head, so this axe is probably 4 pounds or so.
Okay. So here we got the vet again.
Here we go, Dan Cutterback,
The coach, the judge, the
mentor,
We're gonna see if he's the axe thrower.
the sensei,
Okay.
the guru,
The sensei.
the guru.
axe. Okay, double hand,
And
and he
he's
goes kind of right. Does he go right over the top of his head there with that?
I think he goes
that
right,
double
totally
hand?
symmetrical, right over the top of his head with
Okay.
both hands. Yeah.
He should be wearing a Dan O'Boone tail on the back of his hat there. Let's have a look, because it looks. Yes, he's going right over his head to his
Yeah.
tailbone. Ooh,
Right over the top there.
that is. There
That was
seems
a-
to be an ugly draw. Maybe somebody
Yeah.
has some magnets up on there in the building or the fence or something.
Maybe it's our polar
The polar shift.
polar shifting at that moment. Hey,
Pulling at that 4 or 5 pounds of steel on the end of that.
That's
chunk of
right,
wood.
yeah.
Okay, that's got to throw your concept. And
There's
then
one,
he
Dan. I
goes!
believe Dan has split the little piece of paper
He
that
comes,
is.
and what does that mean?
If you split the piece of paper in the center, you get some extra points.
Okay.
So if there's a bullseye, and then there's a bullseye of the bullseye.
Okay.
So there were a few bullseyes of the bullseyes hit.
Okay, and so now we're on to the ladies.
Yeah, she's got a baby that's being fed underneath her shirt. Nobody can see it at the moment. Here, but- and she gets stick some
she's-
points.
Okay, she's sticking in the luck. So now it's hard to tell from the video here. How far away are we from the target?
We're probably sitting at 20 plus feet, I would say. It's a pretty considerable throw. you got to throw that axe pretty hard, but at the same time, you got to throw it with some precision as well. So,
Okay, so we've got Tanya up again.
Mrs. Crystalbrink again, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and as you can
And
see,
she's going over the top too.
she's going full tomahawk here, yeah.
Ooh, watch that tailbone. Yikes!
Oh,
And
she just comes up a little bit short there, but-
Rubber axe it a little
Rubber
bit.
axe, yeah.
And I would imagine if Tanya's out in the bush categorizing plants and stuff, that she's throwing a whole lot of, oops, this means that I'm on by myself here. Ooh, and that one digs into the ground there, but
You got a call?
we should also mention that it was raining actually during most of these events. So not only do you have to deal with the rain, but you're also dealing with a slippery handle on this axe, which is making things, just a little bit more challenging. So last toss coming up here for Tanya.
And she just whales that thing.
Oh, and we're rivering.
Yeah.
Not
And here's
the
Jasmine
strongest-
Gasper.
Oh, and it looks like it's running in the family. This
Yeah.
over the top of the target.
Yeah, somebody may have suggested that I should go stand behind.
Okay, so here we have a close up. Oh, we're going over the top.
Oh, and she sticks them.
Okay, and she's got a little loopy delivery there, right? It
Yes.
kind of comes up and then arcs down.
Yeah.
A little scary
Yeah.
here. And so, how's Jasmine in the kitchen with other bladed implements?
She can be a little loopy.
Well, that is definitely the most stylish delivery that I think we've seen.
Yeah.
Now, Heather
did really well.
good. Like, wow, Heather.
Yeah, and that could have been a practice throw, but if it wasn't,
She's got some good
she's
technique
happy
here.
with it.
Okay, so she's over the top. She's using a.
Oh, and she just misses it again.
Well, she actually hit the target, but it looked like the blade didn't stick. So, I'm assuming that doesn't count.
That does not count. No.
Okay.
It's
Now,
a bit disheartening.
now this is almost as exhausting as actually talking about it. Is almost as exhausting as doing it, right? So, how are you doing? You got your energy up?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so we're looking at Jennifer. Jennifer?
Jen Dewey.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Jennifer's up here. Okay, we'll have a look at her
And
technique.
I would suspect that Donovan has given her permission to operate his
Aha.
special axe there.
Is that his special axe?
I think that is his special axe with the
Okay.
tape on the handles.
Okie dokie.
I believe it is. Well,
And
and
she
she's
sticks
sticking
it.
a few points there. Yeah, I think there was a three-way tie for third, fourth, and fifth in this event. So we had to go into a throw off there.
It seems to me you are right, and it's not reflected in this particular cut, but
No.
you have a very good idea now if you want to compete next year. And hey, that's part of what this is, right? Like if
Absolutely.
you're interested in competing,
Absolutely,
you're welcome to come out, and even if you've never thrown an axe before, you too are welcome to throw it over top of the target or bounce it off the rubber as many times as you
Absolutely.
like.
You can tickle
within
that
the
blade on your
rules.
spine if you want, like me was about to do,
Okay, so
or
here
you
we
can
got-
just chuck it.
Miwa Hiroe.
Get away.
Oh, and there is some
Samurai.
Japanese in there, obviously. And, I suspect there's some McCurdy in here, too. I mean,
I mean, if you do the equation here, she's got the samurai and the law and the genetic logger in her. She should really be sticking that
Okie
bullseye.
dokie.
I think she actually splits the
Oh!
the little white dot you can see in the bullseye.
Okay, we're going to have a look at that. Not on that one. That might have been the practice roll. We'll have a look. Okay, Miwa. We're going to have a closer look here at business. She's serious about this.
She's pretty serious about this.
Oh! That is the one!
She split the paper there.
Oh,
She
she's
has
happy about
split
that.
the paper. High fives
all the way around.
What
What's
a
the
feeling.
paper split worth? Is it just cash?
It's another. What is it? Could be 5 points.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like a 4, 3, 2 points.
And she's ready to...
She's happy with that.
She's getting ready to go here. Dan's got to replace the paper.
She's just
I
thinking
see.
about the new Lululemon pants she's going to buy with all this loot out of this.
I don't know if I'd have my back turned to the competitor with a big fluorescent axe on my back.
I know if that was Jasmine holding the axe there, I definitely wouldn't have my back turned like that.
Good Lord, Dan, you're trusting. Okay. Kind of like a shooting range, like you kind of want to keep an eye on what's going on here.
Absolutely.
So scary business. And
And she is right over top.
The samurai spirit is there, but the accuracy is just not quite with us.
Not with us.
Now, not. Oh, we still have another throw though. Okay, so she's focused here, and unfortunately, doesn't make it.
Here's Jessie Lawseth.
Okay, so this is the first time we're seeing Jessie, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
She's partner to John McCurdy.
Okay,
So there, she's trying to.
so maybe we'll see them later in the Jack and Jill crosscut.
I
don't
believe we
recall.
do.
Okay. Very good. It's amazing what you learn doing this, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, all these people
Yeah.
in relationships, you don't know who they are
for
necessarily.
sure.
And if you're sitting in your hotel room watching this, hey, if you see any of these people around town, say
Yeah,
hi.
absolutely.
And if they're carrying an axe, say hi from a distance. And don't wear fluorescent clothing.
I'd be more than 25 feet, because as we
Okay.
know.
So here's our results. Men's axe throw. First, Dono and his special axe.
Absolutely. Second place goes to Ross Dirksen.
And I think it was Joss in there in third. And then we have Jennifer and...
Miwa Hirway.
And I'll let you do the third place.
Jasmine Gasser.
Okay.
Look at those biceps
Whoa,
on the
it's chopping.
chopping.
And we need some...
What a good old lumberjack, eh?
We need some guns, and we're going to look at four of these guys.
here
We're
we
just going to
go.
go through. We're going to go through all four. Oh! Top left there. Who's that in the top left? Just about.
Top left
Plug
is
the
Dono.
shin.
He had a few of those, a little bit of chips off the log there. I was blessed. I got a nice small number 8 tree. It was a nice small tree.
So they're your bottom right.
I'm bottom right, and
Okay.
and I managed to get through my piece of wood.
Hey, so
without
what's the technique
a
here?
lot of
What?
difficulty.
How should we be doing this if we have to?
Well, you want to take out nice big, as big as pieces as you can without getting that axe stuck into the piece of wood. But you really gotta.
Man, you took this one.
Yeah, I was second. Nolan
Okay.
Germain got first place in this.
Oh,
He did really
okay.
well. But
Oh!
yeah, there's some variety of techniques used here. And as you can see, Jake is using all of them in real time. He's really swinging that axe quite hard and fast. Good job,
Okie
Jake.
dokie. Good work, gentlemen. So there's our chopping. And Nolan Germain
Nolan
indeed does
Germain.
take first. And you are
Brendan Taylor.
second. Donovan G in there
Donovan G is
third.
third.
And fun one, the Jack and Jill crosscut.
This is a crowd favorite.
Okay,
this
if you don't know
one
what a
here.
Jack and Jill crosscut is, just look at
You
this.
are ready to find out.
So it's
So here's a
Boy
veteran Jack and Jill team here. A lot of good communication has to go on, and push, pull. Don't pull too hard because the saw's going to fall out of the log.
Hey, so now what's with the one-hand technique here from John?
I'm not so sure what was with the one-hand technique. I
He's
think.
got the big gun there. He doesn't need to use two arms.
Yeah, he's got that big muscle.
Whoa!
there.
I like
Look at Brandon and Justin
smoking
just smoking through that.
Woo, they do this together, I bet.
Yeah.
Fun dates.
And here's Dan and Sylvia.
Concentration.
And Dan and Sylvia do really well in this event.
Unfortunately, we
too.
didn't get a shot of Sylvia.
It's a really fun event. I think.
Now, this is some serious up and down.
That's
what
a
do
pretty
you,
serious up and down.
Does that work?
It works, but I think there's a rhythm to get into. Rhythms are required for all sorts of activities in life, and you have to find it and work with it.
And
But,
there we have.
I think this event isn't about winning first place. It's about cutting through that log smooth and soft with your
So
partner.
first up, Donovan and Jen. Second,
Dan and Sylvia,
and I missed third.
Brendan and Jasmine.
Okay, shouldn't have missed third.
Absolutely.
Falling. We're just going to give you a quick demo. This is not a real video friendly event. So, you're back with the camera and you're basically looking at somebody's backside. We wanted to get the camera guys up in front of the log and get it real time falling down. And
Yeah.
the camera's right there. But unfortunately, the judges and WCB, they wouldn't let us do that. So.
Yeah, the falling it's a fun event. The crowd loves it, and there's some pretty funny stuff that happens in the falling. Some people come out with lack of experience, but still go at it, and
Pool falls the wrong way.
the pole has fallen the wrong way before. It has happened. We've had guys come out who have seldomly ever run power saws and have hit the pin before. So, to say it lightly, it can be a bit of a crapshoot as to who's going to win this event. But
Okay.
there's Dan Cutterback measuring distance from log felling.
So there's a pin out there.
There is a nail that has been pounded
There you
into
go.
the
It's
ground.
The little
And it's
flag.
measured from the outside of the log where the log has landed. Not where it's laying, but where it initially hit the ground.
Hey, and I'd be happy with that one, let me tell you.
Absolutely.
So first up, Ross.
Ross Dirksen.
Second, Dan, who
Dan
doesn't do
Lawless,
this.
and third was Nolan Germain, I believe.
Okay. And we're on to, I love this one, the Iron Logger. This is
Iron
like,
Logger.
this is really,
It's full on.
this is full on.
Yeah, it's full on iron logger, water in the tire and everything. It's
Jeez. So Donald's
that-
first up.
Donna's first up. Yeah, he's got to set the realm for everybody, set the stage, and you can watch some of his technique and.
So
uh,
so if you're
improve
not familiar
on
with
it.
this, you have to roll this big tire all the way around and put it back inside a circle, right?
Yeah, there's a painted
There you
circle
can just
as you
barely
can
see
just
it
barely
there.
see. It's got to sit.
So-
So see, he made the mistake of rolling the center of the tire into the center of the circle.
So now he's got to move it
Now
back.
he's got to fiddle around with that tire a bit more.
And how much does the tire weigh?
Oh,
Any idea?
I don't know. It would be probably maybe 150 pounds.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It's heavy. It's really heavy.
Now these pails aren't.
The pails are heavy, and those tire chains are heavy.
And there's technique with the chains.
There is, because those tires get moved around pretty quick. So.
And you can't move the tires. We
No,
should add.
tires got to stay in the painted ring there.
So you can't be dragging the tires with you as you're
No.
hauling the chains and the buckets and stuff across.
And the thing with Dono here, he has those gloves on, which he has to take off in a hurry here because
Okay, so now he's sprinting
great finesse is
to the
required.
stump where we have a.
You got to thread the needle.
So this is like biathlon, right? Like you go out and ski your brains out, and then you have to come back to the shooting range, and
Absolutely.
you have to put 5 rounds inside a quarter.
Yeah.
But he does it real fast.
This is more strategic than triathlon. Jeez.
No, this is biathlon.
Biathlon, I'm sorry.
Biathlon.
Here's Evan Scheller.
We haven't seen Evan yet, have we?
He's going right now.
Okay.
And he won first place in this event. Last year we didn't have it, but the year before I believe he won first place.
Okay.
So he figures this is his event to come out. He's a big, strong guy.
So he's got that tire leaned over a lot further than.
Yeah, I think he
Donovan.
can. You know, the majority of us, the tire manhandles us, but I think with Evan, he kind of
He
manhandles.
pops her right down in that,
Manhandles that
in
tire.
that circle.
Now he's gonna grab the
Okay,
water.
so what's in the water in the bucket?
I think it's water in the
Okay.
buckets, but we can just say it's hydraulic oil, and then when we're done, we dump
Hydraulic
it.
oil,
We dump
okay.
it close to the creek, so we get some
Excellent. Hey, if you're
stabilize some of the sand down there.
yeah, if you're listening there,
Yeah.
be looking for the guys with the bucket.
I think Dan dumped one bucket just above the intake, and I dumped one by the salmon grounds.
Okie dokie. Okay, so sprint to the stump here.
Sprint to the stump.
Some of these guys actually had trouble finding
Some
the
that thread was the same color as that log,
Yeah,
and someone said,
so it
"Oh,
was tough.
the thread's blown away." We said, "No, it's still there."
Yeah, so we're having a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, that can be pretty tricky. They had a big eye on that needle this year, but
But he
still.
pops her through. All right. Good job. And next up, we have Ross McCurdy.
Ross McCurdy.
Okay, the McCurdys are
Finally loosening up
featuring-
and coming in some events here.
Okay, Ross hasn't been out that much before.
No, he hasn't, but he's definitely going to be competing in the future years to come here.
And we're just doing this once a year, is that right?
Longer events are once a year,
Okay.
but it's a lot of work to set it up, and
We should have winter logging sports.
we totally could.
Tourism Valemount, if you're listening, we need to have some winter.
We need to
winter
have
logging.
a Robson Valley Logger event, which
Absolutely.
will draw a crowd from all throughout our area.
Okay.
It's a really, really fun event. There's a lot of people watching, and people stayed all day throughout the rain and everything. So.
That's right. It was as we just said earlier. It was raining, and you
Yeah.
can see the crowd in the background.
Yeah.
There were a couple hundred people there, I'm sure.
Probably,
at various
yeah,
points.
150 to 200 people.
Yeah.
And it's easy watching. You stand back, you watch, and you laugh, and you ooh and you ah, and.
But you're not so far back that you can't actually sort of get a
No, everyone,
sense
you can
of-
get right up in there. It's really fun.
So,
And Ross has gumboots on.
and if you pretend that you know what you're doing with the camera, you can even get closer than the average spectator.
You can, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, who's this guy with the camera?
Yeah. So Ross,
And Ross has
he
threaded
pops
the
it through
needle.
there right off the bat, and we are
John
on to
McCurdy.
John McCurdy.
Now he's
okay.
out of his Buckerman pants.
Yeah,
He's into a little bit more of a
and he's rolling faster,
lower profile short pantalon.
and he's on the outside of the tire here, so that's a little different from
He's
what
got
we've
those.
seen.
He's got those big biceps. And he's got
Oh, that's
arms
right.
there.
That's right. Ooh, he puts her down real well. Oops, isn't
Water
quite sure where to go first.
Water first.
Can you do the chains first? Doesn't matter.
I suppose you could do the chains first, but traditionally it's been water first, chains last.
Okay.
We'd like to keep it consistent. And
Okay, so it looks like he's got a pretty good heat. Now, whoa, now he takes those chains straight out of there
pretty near.
and is not throwing them out and putting them on the ground, but he does adjust the tires a little bit. We'll have to see how his time compares to everybody else. Different technique.
Yeah,
I
a little bit
love
different.
different techniques.
Absolutely. Thinking
Different
outside the
techniques is
box.
good.
Eh?
He's not real fast coming into the needle here.
He's got to get those
See how he's
gloves
gonna do?
off.
Are
which
those
is-
his glasses?
Yeah, those are for Dan Cutterback. For the
Oh,
vet.
okay, the
veteran.
vet.
Yeah,
We've got the vet's glasses out early.
he's got her.
Oh, these guys are threading the needle real well.
Yeah.
Is the vet up next?
I think it is.
Oh, it's the kind of the other vet. Hey, and again, we should say that you're not exactly. We wouldn't. I don't know if I'd call you a logger. You're kind of like the surgeon of loggers, right?
Yeah, a little
you're
bit,
you're a very specialized technical logger.
I would be considered an urban logger.
An urban logger.
But, our days can vary from up a Doug fir at 90 feet, taking a top off it, to laying on your hands and trimming potentillas. So
Okay.
we do within my little operation, we do a lot of different things, and some entail
Now you favor throwing the chains on the ground.
I do, to use both hands to pick them up, but I'm training to be able to grab each tire chain and just lift it right over my
All
head.
right. So
And
we'll
just
have a
run.
good shot of your guns next year.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we
Little
go.
lick.
Seems to me you popped this through real quick too. That was probably about as fast as we're gonna see. So
Yeah.
here we got the vet. We've had his glasses on the stump now for the last 3
Glasses
competitors.
on the stump.
I wonder if you remember where I put him.
I'm not sure.
It's my problem.
I don't want to know what his heart rate was
my
when
problem.
he
He's-
finished this, but
He's smooth.
Yeah,
he's
he's-
obviously done this,
Oh, yeah.
probably for real, many times.
yeah, probably. Yeah.
Hey, if you're from the city watching this, believe it or not, this stuff does go on.
This is what goes on in the bush, absolutely. And when something's broke down or
and
something.
this is easy ground. This is not.
Yeah,
bush ground.
you're not dragging these tire chains through the mud and the snow.
It would be more like
So-
rolling that tire down the end of the obstacle log that we saw earlier, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah.
bushwork is hard work, which is why
Yeah.
boxers train there, right? Traditionally, I mean,
Yeah.
doing bushwork is incredibly taxing.
Yeah.
So now that was the drag to change technique.
That was drag the chain, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Now
So,
he comes in for the kill.
and here we go.
Has to get the
Oh,
glasses
the glasses
first.
are on. Oh, and
I'm providing a little different color contrast so he can kind of find the hole a little bit better if someone sort of gave me a...
Hey, as somebody with old eyes, believe me, I would appreciate that, as I'm sure Dan does as well.
Time.
All right, and he's
he
got a
got
good
her.
time.
Yeah.
He's shaking his head, but it seems to me he had a good time.
And now here's a gentleman we managed to sneak in from the crowd, and
Okay.
this guy is working with either the plumbers or the electricians at the Valmont Health Center project.
Oh, okay.
So he's been sort of a
Does the union
short
know he's
time
out doing
resident.
this?
Maybe we should not disclose his name.
So here we've got sort of a non-logger.
A non-logger, yeah.
Okay.
This guy's a little more involved in the industry of different sorts.
Okay, we'll see. We'll have to see if he gets in the top 3 here.
If I recall, he had a tough time getting the needle threaded there at the end.
Okay.
It got a bit frayed on him.
Make sure the tire's in place there. So he favors dragging the chains too.
Yeah.
How much do chains weigh? Any idea?
Oh, you can't hardly pick them up with one arm, so they're probably 60 pounds. Yeah, they're pretty heavy. They're long too. You can't pick them up over your head.
Right, and they're moving. They're not. This is not a stable weight. This stuff's hard to.
Yeah, and you think that you picked it all up, but there's still another 3 feet in the tire.
Right.
So
Gotcha.
he's
Here, where's the thread? There's no thread. There's
obviously
no thread.
looking for the thread as well, and
Yeah, this one's.
he
Oh,
manages.
he's
manages
gets
to
it
get
through
it
there.
So this is another
Very
call.
well.
This is a colleague of the gentleman we watched before,
Okay.
and I believe if it'll come to me, I know this guy's name. Ian is this guy's name.
Okay. Now, had these competitors planned to compete this day, or did
Absolutely.
they just get
Absolutely
wrapped
not.
up in the
They
energy
got
of
wrapped
this?
up. They came down. They probably watched and hummed and hawed for a few hours, and then they finally realized that this actually looks like a pretty good time.
And that's too bad they missed all the sharp cutting action.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, that's what would draw me would be the noisy saws, the smell
Yeah.
of gas, and
And
chain
sawdust
oil.
and yeah.
Chain oil flying
Yeah.
everywhere, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
so
for
let's
sure.
have a look at our chain. Whoa, now
He's just
He's
like a
vigorous.
bat out of hell with that one.
with those chains, he likes the drag technique. We're gonna have a look at the finesse technique now.
That's one of our tactics.
Oh!
He is also
Oh, having trouble
also
finding the
looking for
thread.
that, thread. That's one of our tactics for getting people out on Sunday morning. Is we want to get the chainsaw events going. We want to make a bunch of noise and hear the crowd that is there with a round of applause. And the next thing you know, people just start coming in to watch because the chainsaws really bring everybody there.
Took a little bit longer, and we're on to
The women's.
the ladies. And who's
Here
this?
is Jasmine Gasser. Just manhandles that tire. Woman handles it in the manly form.
Excellent. So there are a few modifications for the women's event.
Yeah, there's a few modifications. Obviously, that tire, that's a tire off of probably a logging truck or a semi truck, so it's a little bit smaller for the women. And then as we can see here, they downsized to one bucket,
Okay.
over to one tire chain.
And we're gonna have a look at Jasmine's technique of choice. Oh, she's
Oh,
a dragger.
She just grabs it and just yards it. Oh, she's
Oh,
the
moved
tire
the
off.
tire. So that's
She
gonna
just
cost her
drags
a
that
few
thing like
seconds.
she's dragging one of her kids across the grocery store floor.
Okay, we'll have to look for that. Hey, if you see Jasmine at IGA and you're a visitor, tell her you saw her in action with the chains.
Oh yeah.
And now we're gonna see how she does sewing up saw pants.
Oh, she's fast.
Okay.
Boom. Come on, Jazzy.
Uh-oh.
There you
Okay. Looks like a good time.
Yeah.
So, who is up
And here
next?
goes
We
Tanya
lost-
Crystal Brink.
We lost the beginning there, but you kind of get the idea about what's going on. Tanya, you undoubtedly have done this in the bush a couple of times too.
Oh, she had to have done this in the bush
Yeah,
a few times.
okay.
Yeah. She knows the camera's on her too, so she's
Okay.
really in her element here.
Tanya likes a camera, does she?
Sure.
Not very many people
Not
around
very
actually
many people
who like,
do like
the
a camera, no.
But I think you have to agree, like the camera makes you look good, right?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is exciting
No,
stuff.
you've done a good job filming this.
Oh, I'll tell the camera guy that. At least the one who did a good job.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's the race to the stump for the needle and the thread.
So we were kind of hoping to get McCracken there, first mayor ever to do the pole climb, but
And what happened with that?
well, he prioritized himself with that
Oh.
Swift Creek thing. Jesus.
How many times have I heard the word
Oh.
priority and
Oh, I know.
prioritize?
It's like, oh, the creek's washing out and we're not going to have water.
Well, I'll tell you what,
There's a
we'll,
pole climb going on.
I mean, look,
McCracken.
we've got the village office staff.
Yeah,
here.
I got
Heather's
village
back.
office staff.
Got everybody here. We've
Everybody
got-
here, you know.
We've got migrant construction workers.
A guy in a dress shirt, for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean, what is going on?
Yeah. Ooh, we
Come on,
gotta
Mr.
go.
Mayor.
Yeah.
We'll sign him up. I'll pay his entry next year.
Yeah, I'll split it with you.
And I think we'll
And then
mount
we'll
a-
split his winnings.
Exactly. We'll mount a helmet cam on him so we
Yeah.
get the mayor's point of view for this. I can add it to council footage, make it a little bit more
There you go.
visually entertaining. Right? Okay, Heather's doing a good job.
Yeah, she's doing a very good job.
She planted that tire real well. It's off to the pail of water.
Oh, she's gonna
She
drag
yanks that out of there.
pack that pail of water around like she packs around her little girls as well.
Hey, so again, if you're out of town and you notice Heather yanking around the girls, say hi. This is Heather.
Yeah.
And she drags those chains.
Oh yeah.
All right, Heather, pop those chains in there. Good girl. Okay. Good girl. Good
old
girl.
Fort
Good
McMurray.
girl. And she makes it neat. She makes a nice, neat
Yeah.
pile.
Yeah, just like a pile of
Okay.
like little neat laundry socks.
And
folded
now
up there,
throws
right?
the gloves off for this.
Heather actually comes from Fort McMurray, so she's got that old Fort Mac strength. through the
Oh,
red-
she's
red
used to
right
doing
into
this
her
at
head.
minus 40 then.
Oh yeah, that was
Okay.
way too hot for her here. Jesus.
Now, Jen Dewey's on.
Here's Jen
Yep.
Dewey.
Okay. So somebody else has sort of been secretly coached, although we maybe shouldn't be saying
The
that.
coach,
Okay.
training all year long.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And we really have to monitor those two for how much
Uh-huh.
pre-training and
Did they bring their own tire for this event by chance?
yeah. And then they get into the human growth hormone enhancement.
Oh.
Then we just start opening a can of worms.
Donald,
and Jen, they-
Well, I mean, it looks like she's got some fairly big guns there as well. So, okay. She definitely has no trouble with the pail of water.
No, she
Let's
drags
have a
that
look at
pail
her
of water
chain
out just like
technique here.
dragging Donovan away from the shop at nighttime. And
Uh-huh.
telling him to get inside the house. Stop throwing that axe and get in here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there she is off to the thread the needle.
Okay. And it seems to me she's got some fan support on this one. Oh, yes. Here we go.
And there's her little
These
boy
fans
there.
burst out of the crowd.
Get that
Look
in
at-
there, Mom. Come on.
Okay.
Good job, Jen.
Woo. Now, we have one more
Miwa Hirway.
competitor. So this is Miwa
So she
Hirway.
looks like she used a bit of a sumo wrestler stance to get that
Yeah,
tire up off
is
the
there a
ground
special
there.
technique to deadlift that tire?
You just got to get your sciatica right into her. And
Okay.
Pretty much lift it on the brink of throwing your back
Okay.
out.
Now, Miwa doesn't look as comfortable with the tire as she does with an axe. so-
No, I think it's that purple jacket. She doesn't want to get that thing
Ah, that
dirty.
could be it, right? Yeah.
It's probably
Wearing-
a hot date after this or something.
Wearing Gucci logging clothes
Yeah.
is not
I-
conducive to a good performance here.
But no shoes is kind of the realm of most loggers these days.
Yeah, it's definitely something that could catch on. No trouble with the pail.
No trouble with the pail.
Now, you don't want to drop the chains on your bare feet.
Don't want to drop the chains on your bare feet.
And you definitely don't want to catch a nail.
No. I think Dan was sprinkling nails before the event, just to add an element of pain into the whole
Right. Encourage people to wear
That's
special
right.
boots.
thing. Yeah.
Okay, she's pretty smooth
Did a good
so
job
far.
there. Yeah. No mistakes anywhere. And
Can I have a look here?
Nice and consistent. She's got the needle
Oh,
thread through that needle.
right.
Good job.
Okay. So, Iron Lady results. First,
Jasmine Gasser.
second, Jen Dewey, and third.
Tanya Caruselbrink.
All right, the Iron Man results. I'm going to do this one first. Brendan Taylor.
Second place, Evan
And I
Scheller.
believe that was John in third, right?
Possibly.
Okay. Log Burling.
Log Curling, last and final event here.
This was the crowd hung around for this,
Yeah.
and this is extremely difficult. So we're just going to give you kind of a taste of this.
John was a natural log burler. I think if you let that guy put him in the pond there and give him $100 and say play around on this thing for an hour,
Oops, and
I think you'd be quite surprised at what he would be able to do with
he
that
is
log.
not shy about getting wet.
No, he's not. You know, I'm not in these events. Most of us not too shy about getting wet, but
Now, is that you on the left there?
that's
that
me on
just
the
did
left.
the-
Yeah, going for the ride into
Did the drink? Okay.
The biggest concern with this event, obviously, is falling backwards and hitting your tailbone. I hit my tailbone one year, and that lingered around for a couple months.
Gotcha.
So Dan Cutterback had a bit. You know, he just holds on to the bitter end. He has such a competitive edge to him, which is awesome. That I think maybe, I don't know, this is here. No, not quite that one, but
I think we've got the McCurdy boys here doing a demo for us.
yeah.
Soon.
We were having to peel them off that thing after a while because they weren't.
Yeah, they've probably got one in the backyard.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I would guess from just the way they were playing around here. So.
So here goes myself, and I went to bare feet because I was having a pretty
the
tough time.
barefoot technique.
And here goes
But
Ross
is it gonna
McCurdy,
work?
arms out, dangly, and he's right in there, head first and everything. That's
That
awesome.
has to hurt.
Ross.
So who would have won that one?
I think we called it a tie several
Okay.
times there. It's.
Now here's the McCurdy.
Now here's the McCurdy boys.
In action.
Just can't even log burl. They gotta have
Yeah.
a little chicken
Gotta
fight
have
out
a
there.
log burling fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
All smiles and giggles too.
Okey
Good guys,
dokey.
hard workers.
Fun event. It's too bad we couldn't let the crowd try this when
Yeah,
the
yeah.
real guys were done. 'Cause
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
that would be a big fun, I'm sure. So log burling results first. John McCurdy takes it, and second.
Ross McCurdy.
And Dono is in there at third. So best overall logger, third, the veteran.
Dan Cutterback.
All right.
There we go,
And
Dan.
Coming up, second, Dono.
Donovan G.
Okay, so good. Who's gonna be first?
Who is the first
It was a big
overall
surprise for me
logger
until
is
yesterday. There he is.
myself, Brendan
Brendan Taylor. All right.
And
Well,
he robs the title away from Donovan.
there was an appreciative crowd there.
Hats off to Dono.
Some
for
of
the-
them from very, very, very far away, amazed at what
yeah,
they were
clearly
seeing.
probably not a local.
We definitely had some fashionable performances,
Absolutely.
and we had some really Gucci equipment and stuff to play with.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And attitude.
And attitude. And,
Attitude
yeah,
is where it's
absolutely.
at. So, anyways, thanks for joining me here for
Thanks very much,
Vlogersports
Mike.
2012.
I appreciate you coming out, and
And congratulations on your win.
thank you.
So what are you going to do with $65?
Well, I might just have to pay off some debts.
Excellent. Okay, well,
Maybe I'll take my girls for ice cream.
we look forward to seeing you compete next year and maybe joining us again for
Absolutely.
Vlogersports 2013. Stay tuned.
I look forward. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks very much.